Good evening, everyone. How's
Good
everyone doing
evening.
today?
Good evening, Chin. Good evening.
Today is Wednesday, January 30th,
Yes, God.
2019.
Yes. Is it? Are you finding it difficult to say 2019 again? Like I'm not
A little
this year
bit,
for
but
whatever.
not really, but maybe a little bit.
Maybe because we don't have to write it as much. As when we were
So
kids.
this is the BGK8 show. Who are you?
My name is Epic.
And I am the beastly, burly black bitch.
BB.
BBBB. One more time for the kids that didn't get it. The beastly, burly, black bitch.
Biatch.
So, and thank you for that, by the way, because
Do we want to give screen time or do
no,
we
girl, we're not gonna put her name out
I
there.
just
Girl, fuck her, because I'm about to make some money off of this. Because I'm about to get shirts made, like
Okay.
literally, my Brista guy is working on having shirts made.
Absolute. Guy, I'll take one, please.
Oh yeah. We'll be taking orders very soon, so that's gonna be a little bit of profit and everything. So we'll get to the reason why I'm the beastly, burly black bitch
In a second.
in a little bit. Because
But-
is this an old script? Because this still says. Girl, did you print out?
No,
Okay,
I did.
you got that.
Yeah, this was this
Yeah,
one.
but what is this?
This wasn't taken off.
Oh.
This is correct.
Okay, so okay,
Exactly.
got it. Listen, I'm slow today. Did you include? Because I don't read these things ahead of time. Did you include rent?
I left a blank so that you will always add like
Oh,
you
okay.
always do.
So we got to talk about rent. We got to talk about jury duty. Oh, but that goes here.
as you normally do.
I think that's it. So what does the BGKH stand for?
So BGKH, and I actually just had this conversation with a friend of mine I haven't spoken to in about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Hey Esther, I hope you tuned in.
Hey, Esther.
Hey.
How
This
you
is my-
doing?
This is one of my cut buddies when I was in undergrad, and
Oh, okay.
we drove all the way around and we did all types of everything. So
Shenanigans.
yes. Hey Esther. But so the BGKH show, that's what she asked me earlier, and I was like, girl, well listen, the BGKH show, it stands for the blacks.
The blacks. Oh, the blacks.
The gays,
Hey, girl.
the kinky,
Hey, girl. We turn this a little bit so
How you
be-
doing this?
I can be seen in my own stream.
You got to be seen.
I got to be seen. I'm a beastly, burly black bitch. I got to be
I
seen.
mean, that's what happens. But then after all that, even though you are a beastly, burly black bitch, you are still human.
For the most part.
Yeah. So
But
I mean,
the girls keep trying it.
and listen, I had to laugh at myself because of the thoughts that I had, because I was like, he is going to annihilate this child.
But see, that's not how I operate, though.
No, bitch. Oh, but I do. You were going to it, and it's not necessarily in the response that you say. It is coupled with your actions. So I'm looking forward to the annihilation. So I feel like I'm this video game thing, and I'm going to annihilate her, kill her. So I'm just sitting back and watching. I just got some popcorn.
Listen, I'm just going to say a couple of things. We'll get into the reasons behind it now. But people with glass foreheads should not throw stones. That's okay. I'm just saying. When I was 9, they, at the Clinton Library,
Oh,
and I've told this story before,
oh, jeez.
but they had, yes, it was a fatality. And yes, Alicia, I did say glass foreheads. I did, in fact, say that.
Alyssa, I hope you're feeling better. Because I know you didn't have a good time at the dentist. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. But God damn it. This is January 2019. And damn it, this is a contender for the end of the year. Whew.
I'm just going to say that when I was 9 years old, they had to institute a ban on the number of books that you could take out from the Clinton Public Library because of me.
Okay.
And do you know why that is?
Why is that?
Because, bitch, I know how to read.
Oh, I'm sorry. He means shoe. He means shoe.
America, facts are facts.
He means shoe.
So, you know, we're going to get into that. So, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. Work stuff has been a little crazy. We are actually in the midst of like a reorganization. My job decided to rent out some space and to cut some corners and downsize as far as, you know, the actual office space. So I'm in the midst of packing up my little space and the department space and all this other stuff. And so people are confused and we are bewildered at the new space that we're walking
Bewitched,
into.
bothered, and bewildered. Y'all still in the same building?
We're in the same building. We're just moving down on the first floor. So we go from this light and airy down to this old and gloomy. And I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, as long as my paycheck is still there.
Listen,
all.
Operation Decorator Storm.
Listen, and I get it, but my whole
because I know it's you and at least one other gay there. I'm sure there's several other gays there.
Several.
So y'all will make it work.
So I mean, you know, we'll just have to figure it out. But I mean, people are like they're like upset and crying and you know all been out of shape because of like nonsense.
Oh, they can't hear me. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Oh, they can't hear you.
They can't hear me because I got you girls on mute. That's why you can't hear me. Sorry. Hopefully. Come on now. Come on, Facebook. No, resume. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Someone tell me if they can hear me now.
Is this thing on? Is this
thing on? Is this live? Is this Memorex?
Come on, Jessica, with people with glass necks should not give head.
I hope that's better. I hope everyone can hear me now. You know, we had a little bit of technical difficulties at
Hola, Majin Buu.
Our other stream, so hopefully you all can hear me. If not, you can tune in to Epics.
Heard you the entire time. Okay, well that's good. Listen, we're trying to make sure we have two different.
Yeah, because I'm doing it on my phone,
and then I'm doing it on my iPad as well.
Yes.
So yeah, we got it. Okay. So they can hear you. I think they can hear you.
I think they can hear me now. Someone type and let me know if they can hear me on my stream.
So any of the 5 people watching Dominion,
oh, that is so shady.
They are just sitting there like.
It does say 5 live people, so it's all good.
Well, no, I wasn't being shady with that.
No, because I thought you was like, it's only 5 people watching.
No, I was saying I saw like
5 people.
Well, half of these are going to leave from mine to go to yours.
That's fine, dear.
Which is fine. I mean, it's no big deal.
So we'll get the internet back and figure that out next week.
It'll work. But so yeah, other than that, the week is good. I had some very disappointing news. So again, my mom and that whole all that stuff. Well, I mean,
well, you know what? I'm for this show. I'm just going to turn mine off.
Okay.
And then because
it might still be on.
Well, I hate this small aspect ratio.
Wow. So anyway, so I'm trying to get rid of a lot of my mom's stuff or whatever. We had this conversation. Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't know how people go through lives and then their family leaves them or blesses them with all this wealth and resources. Because listen, mine, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what and my mother's still here, but I'm like, this is it. So when I took this car to get appraised, you know, I'm sitting there thinking I might as well keep this car, but you know, I'm going to spend more in insurance on the car than I am than what they offered me in a year. So that's a whole other story. But anyway, but other than that, my week was pretty good. Yeah. How was yours?
It was very good, actually.
Okay.
So, you know, last week was MAL. Oh, and we got to talk about that too. So let's just quickly
jump back to MAL.
Okay. Some of you girls are kind of entitled, and you know, this is why I don't fuck with a lot of you girls because, you know, you have whatever job, whatever it is you're doing, and you come to this event and you want to be fancy and you shit on other people. So there's apparently been a number of people who have, because the hotel asks you to leave, is asking people to leave reviews.
Okay.
So plenty of people have left glowing reviews of the
As
hotel.
they should, because
they should.
Because their staff and everybody works their ass off.
But some people have left shitty reviews, complaining about everything from housekeeping didn't smile at them, or the elevators were slow, to service was slow in the restaurant. Now, I will say that the service was slow in the restaurant, but
there was 9,000 people coming downstairs to eat all at the same time.
One,
constantly.
And two, slightly slow service in the restaurant, it didn't ruin my weekend, and it's not something that I would mention because I know that it's a lot going on. And did I notice that the food took a while to come? Yes, but we were also kikiing and cutting up and having a good time. So ultimately, it wasn't a huge deal. And it wasn't like we waited 3 hours. It was like it maybe took like 10 minutes longer than I thought it should have for the guy to come back to check on us or whatever, or to bring the bill or whatever. But it wasn't anything like that. As far as the elevators are concerned, yes, the elevators did take a long time, but that was because they were actually controlling the elevator instead of letting it work. So if you were on the 5th floor, and someone happened to hit the button at the right time on the 11th floor, it might have gone up to the 11th floor before going all the way back down.
Right.
They went up and stopped at each floor, and then they came down and stopped at each floor, so that everybody, even though it might have been slow, it was equally slow for everybody.
Yeah.
So just chill. Just calm down. You're on vacation. You're just having a good time. I'm sorry if you can't afford it and you're worried about your money coming back. You should stay at home. So that just annoys me because, yes, the government is reopened now, but I'm still, concerned because I think it may have been Roman who had talked. No, it was our friend Ruben from Toronto, because he's one of the people that talks to the staff and everything. And he was saying that like 75 people were getting laid off that Monday because receipts were down. And so they were thankful. And so maybe they didn't smile at you as quickly as they did because maybe they were thinking about how they were going to put food on the table past Monday. And the question was your room clean?
Right.
So maybe the elevator operator wasn't there to smile at you. Well, stop thinking that every male that you see wants to be hit on. It's one thing for people to be accepting of gays, but we also have to understand that, I'm just supposing here, but everybody doesn't want to sleep with you. Maybe he's just there to do a job. His job is not to smile at you. His job is to make sure the elevator runs and nobody gets stuck on the elevator between floors, because that has happened in years past where the girls are stuck on the elevator for 2 or 3 hours. There was none of that. So, stop being such an asshole.
Yeah.
So anyway,
agree.
ML, I was worn out. I caught the ML cough and everything. So my slave said, we had already planned, this was going to be our weekend. And he started off by asking me how much I weigh. And I was like, why? Because you never know. He might be. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
We'll talk about that part later.
Okay. All right.
And so he sends me this address. He's like, okay, well, you need to leave work by this time because we got to be there by 3:45. And so he was trying to surprise me, but, he sent me the address. So, of course, I Googled it. And it was a salt spa.
Okay. All right.
So I had never been to a salt spa. And so you walk in.
Okay.
And they try and make it sound like, they did something fancy. Shit, it was an office building. Like a little one-story office park. They got them Himalayan salt crystals and shit everywhere. And then, but the part that I was really jazzed up about was the flotation tank.
Okay.
It looks like an egg, so it looks like Mork from Ork. And
you are dating us. You are absolutely dating us. And I mean, it's okay. But for those of you that are in that 40+ bracket, work for Mork. But okay.
So, you open up the little egg, you get in, they give you a little thing to hold your head up. so that your head doesn't, necessarily fall all the way back. But they've essentially taken how much water is in the thing, plus 900 pounds of salt. So whatever your size, you don't swallow this.
I know. I'm just like, God, that's a lot of damn.
But the water is so saturated that you will float.
Yeah.
You don't have to, I don't know how to swim. So it's not whether you know how to swim or not. When you get in the water, when you get in the water, I mean, it's like this much water, so there's no danger of you drowning at all. But when you get in, you do first sink to the bottom quickly, but you float right back up, and the water is 98 degrees, so it's room temperature, body temperature.
Right.
So you get in, so it's all white inside, and they've got like light therapy, so you can do like different patterns with the light or whatever, and they have like low music or whatever. So and the woman that showed us how to set it up, she was like, I hate it when they turn off all the lights, turn off all the music. But then I was like, that sounds like heaven. So I got in there. You close the lid. The lid is not locked or anything, and you're in this room by yourself. So the only thing in this room is a little shower stall because you're supposed to wash before you get in, or at least rinse off. And then you get in, close the egg. You can cycle the lights through different ones or turn it off, and then they have music that you can turn all the way up or turn it right down. So I turned the music down to the very, very lowest level. So it was just barely a background murmur. And I turned off all of the lights, and I got my life for an hour in absolute darkness. It was one of those darknesses where, you couldn't tell the difference between your eyes being opened and closed. And, your body got adjusted to the water temperature. Yep. And so it's sensory deprivation. So you literally, I could have turned off all of the music and everything. Oh, it was just so wonderful. And there's a place like that here in Bethesda. So we will be.
So I'm game.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm game.
We'll definitely be doing that. Then we did the massage. So they give you a couples massage, which really just means you're lying on separate tables in the same room. And they called it a salt cave, but let's just be clear. It was a room about twice the size of this studio where they had taken plaster and made it look like stalactites and shit, and they had rock salt on the floor and everything. I was like, this ain't no salt cave, but okay, whatever.
Okay,
and then, they giving you the thing like, oh, it opens up your sinuses and everything. I was like, not really. The massage did feel good and everything, but, that part they could have kept. But the slave did this for me, and, it was so sweet, and I was really touched that, he took the time to
I'm listening.
It was nice.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
And then then on Saturday, he was like, let's go shopping. And I was like, I hate outlet malls. He was like, let's go to Williams, because he lives near Williamsburg. We go to Williamsburg because those they have all of these resorts there. A lot of them are plantations. So I just had to sort of dash over and get past that. Yeah. But they're cheap because they're empty in the winter. Mm-hmm. So we had this fabulous, 1,500 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, essentially, with a full kitchen and everything.
Okay.
So anyway, so he was like, let's go to the outlets. I was like, I hate going to the outlets because, I'm a person of substance. So a lot of shit less substance than before, but I am still a person of substance. So we get there, and I'm like, I hate this outlets. Meanwhile, I was like, oh, okay, new coat, new stuff, 2 new pairs of shoes, this new thing, the child bought $500 worth of shit while I was out there. So,
but you hate outlet malls.
I fucking hate outlet malls. Okay. Mm-hmm. I hate that outlet mall so much, I might go back.
Right, okay.
That was that. And then, Tuesday, I got called for jury duty.
That's right.
And
you were talking about that.
I can't talk about it because I'm
No. You were talking about you were being selected for. Okay.
So next week,
was because that my roommate?
Tomorrow we have we get to hear closing arguments and deliberations. So next week I'll be able to talk about what I went through.
Okay.
Because it's a bit of a kiki. So and one last thing, you all see this,
Jessica?
Y'all see this lovely bangle? I need you all to hit up our good Onyx Pearl from Atlanta. Jessica Cisney on Facebook. That Cisney is like Disney with an S. Sisney. Let me tell you, she made this. I'm not gonna tell you because she gave me the Onyx Brother price. So I'm not gonna tell you how much I paid for it, but her prices are definitely reasonable. But this is about 3/4 of an inch.
3/4 or an inch, maybe.
And I just put this lock on it because the original clasp that she had on it was too big, and it was basically falling off my arm.
Okay.
But when I go to Atlanta for a Leather Leadership Conference, she's going to replace it with a regular band. But anyway, it's my colors. It's black, silver, and orange. So, it's lovely. So, Jessica, you did that. Let me tell you how only...
Jessica, it looks
like a week.
Beautiful. It looks more beautiful in person because she put a post up on Facebook.
Yes.
It looks more beautiful in person.
Yes. And so I will post pictures of it on Facebook and include her information on Twitter and... not Twitter, but Instagram, so you can hit her up to have your own. So, this is basically just, links.
I like it.
She can do basically any color that you see. And so, so that was that. So that was lovely.
I likes.
So what are we going to talk about first?
So I think we might want to go ahead and give Cheeto a little bit of, or do we want to wait and get
Let's
into?
Let's just deal with him and just be dumb to him, so then we can kiki for the rest of the episode.
Okay, yeah. So 45 Chronicles, the Cheeto.
Mm-hmm.
The Cheeto decided, well, I'm sorry, as most of you may know, the shutdown has ended. It was 35 days of
foolishness,
government shutdown, and it was finally brought to an end by the Cheeto. The Cheeto and head Cheeto in chief or whatever.
And Nancy Pelosi.
But listen, Miss Nancy Pelosi, listen, I don't even have a hat on, but Miss Pelosi, I am tipping my hat to you. Because, baby, when I tell you did all of that, from the letter that said, well, I think we should postpone the State of the Union address.
And then but
he did try to.
He tried it.
He tried it.
She's like, dear Mr. President, I think we should postpone the State of the Union address until we can come to some sort of an agreement on this budget. And then he said, I'm still giving the State of the Union address on the 28th.
Because you've invited me. That's what your original invitation said.
Dear Mr. President, I said what I said.
Period. And
we will just so that we are clear, you will not be having the State of the Union address until this government is reopened.
And when I say Nancy Pelosi, I can see her standing with the keys in her hand, jiggling the door, like, I am not opening this door until you. We not. You can show up if you want to, but you're not coming in. We lockdown. End of story.
Because there's rules and there's protocols to these things, and you don't just show up. The Speaker of the House has to open the House for a joint session, and if he or she chooses not to, or there has to be like a resolution that has to be voted. I mean, typically it's like, everybody to like one dude who wants to be cantankerous and say no. But if she because the current speaker is a woman, does not even bring the resolution to the floor, then it ain't happening.
It's not happening.
It ain't
at
happening.
all.
It ain't no,
at all.
Mitch McConnell says it. No, it ain't happening.
It's not going to happen.
She is the Speaker of the House. It ain't happening.
So she will always have the keys.
So now it's
shut that thing down.
Now and so she said, once it's open, then we can have the conversation about when.
Absolutely.
And so now I think it's on like February the 5th or something. So I guess that's
it was pushed back. Yeah,
so it's just coming Tuesday.
We'll see how that goes. And because I feel like there's going to be some more foolishness.
I feel like he's going, because first of all, he can't say on script. He can't help saying something foolish, and I feel like it might be like a gag, like he's going to say something that people are going to be like, "Wow, I can't believe that just happened."
So the problem is with this so here's the thing: for the shutdown apparently was about the wall and about the money that he was supposed to be that he wanted to build the wall.
Yes.
The $5 billion whatever,
$5.3
billion he wanted. Now, meanwhile, this government's been shut down for 35 days, and you've cost the U.S. $11.6 billion, I think it was in
Something like
total.
that, yes.
You've cost us more than what it costs to actually build this damn wall. Then you go back and say, well, I don't necessarily think it needs to be a 2,000-foot wall, inch by inch, foot by foot, but a smart wall. So what you're doing is you're now backpedaling and pussy popping, which is what Spill It Boy was talking about before.
Right.
You're backpedaling and pussy popping because you wanted a wall before. Now you want a smart wall. You're backpedaling and pussy popping.
That's what you. First of all,
And on top of that,
if that was the idea, here's
you
the
should have said that
problem
from the beginning.
with everything that he and this administration proposes. Everyone agrees that we got to have some sort of border security.
great.
If you had a fully fleshed out plan that wasn't some foolishness from the beginning, then we could have a legitimate discussion about where we need physical barriers, where we need, more border patrol officers, and where we need whatever. And I am not suggesting that I'm on the side of any of
No.
that. But if you're just going to say some foolishness like we need to put up a wall, like a physical wall along 3,000 miles of border, and just say that, and where did you even get this $5 billion from? Because I'm not aware that, you gave some sort of, well, here's what it's going to look like. You propose a couple of models and all this other bullshit, but we got really fun and exciting stuff to talk about. So fuck this wall. Fuck him. I'm over it. Nancy, you keep doing your damn thing.
That is true.
The girls talk all this kind of shit about Nancy Pelosi, but what you need, listen, I love all of these young people in Congress, and I know that they will do great things. But there is something to be said for someone who has been there and knows how to make, the wheels of justice of
Keep spinning and keep turning in the right direction.
Or not turn. And I'm not suggesting that, AOC or I can't think of the woman that wears the headdress or some of the other women or the young people in Congress, but I'm just saying, you just got here. So there's just no way
Sit back
that
and
you
watch.
could know all of this stuff. And to suggest that, people need to learn how things work is not an insult. The insult is when you tell people, sit down and shut up. That's the insult. It's not an insult to say, here are the things that you need to learn, and I'm here to teach them to you.
Right.
That's,
So, but again, with this entire shutdown, some of the things that you need to think about is why did this actual shutdown actually happen, and why did it actually end? Some people have floated theories or speculating that it was all about money. And at this particular point, the Super Bowl is this weekend because it's the sports ball event this weekend. So but again,
at work, the girls was like the people at work was like,
well, hold on,
got on the game.
Hold on.
What game?
But wait a minute. You can best believe that some of these coaches have called him and said, listen, you are messing with my money coming up this weekend. So, and then you're talking about the coaches and the owners of the football teams. You're talking about Atlanta. You're talking about the businesses. You're contributing to this $11 billion that we've already lost, and we're not even going to get back at any particular point in time. And on top of all that, your ratings are the worst that they have ever been for you doing your job, and also for the economic status of this country are the worst. But again, we're not going to spend time on Cheeto. We're going to go on to something else.
Drag race.
Oh, drag race. Okay. So I was here for the battle with Latrice and Monique, and when she fell out, I was here for it.
Last week, you mean? Or
the ending of the
Okay.
week prior.
I mean, it was all right. I just didn't think that they both deserved to be saved.
I was laughing.
I felt like Latrice should have went home.
But actually, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not quite sure. It was a good battle.
I'm glad that she got saved, but, they clearly already had this. We wanted to bring both of them back, so it was what it was.
What
but
I
if we
did
was
find like
really talk about who did it, I feel like Monique, served it better than Latrice did.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's up for debate. So,
Okay.
I mean, but the one thing that I did get life off of when she said, Monique said, Shantae, you stay? She said, because I was going to be looking for you in the parking lot outside. I was dying.
Yes.
I was dying. But anyway, so fast forward to this week, or last week rather. So they had to do all three different teams and
They were
make clubs.
Right.
And so they had one of the promoters there, who was this legendary promoter in New York City, who actually discovered Rue, or so he said, gave him a chance when she was first starting out. and they had to create these whole clubs with the ideas and a theme and everything about this club. And so it kind of took me back to the 90s and like trying to go out to clubs and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was really cute. But so you had Naomi and Valentina. You also had Latrice, Trinity Tuck, and Manila Luzon.
Yes.
And then you also had the last team, which was Monet and Monique Hart.
Yes.
So for the record, I got life off of Monet and Monique. I thought that was everything.
I thought that was like
cute. It just
silly
made me
and stupid.
Right, but it gave me that.
Okay, I mean, I liked them all actually.
And
there
now-
was none of them there were none of them that I hated. I didn't hate any of them.
Naomi saved what little bit they could of that when she was like, Club 96.
Club 96.
She's like, Club 96.
Because Valentina, was just
dumb.
just coasting and
Her
just,
fantasy of herself and her fantasy world.
which is fine if that's the fantasy that you want to live, but you got to put in the work to.
She
keep
can't
going.
afford to have a fantasy world like that. Like, no, you can't afford to live in that fantasy world, honey.
And as bad as she was on Rent, we're just gonna put a pin in Rent.
Yeah.
RENT circle.
Anyway,
So we're gonna come back to
we're
that.
gonna come back to that. Okay. So anyway,
So I just want to go on record as saying that there is no way that each one of those teams, even the largest team with Manila, Latrice, and Trinity, did all of that by themselves. That was a lot to do, to paint all of those rooms, to first of all to draw that honeycomb pattern, with some level of precision, and not have that shit slanting off of the page. But so whatever. But I thought I liked, the ideas were generally cute.
They were cute.
And
Cute and
whatever. I wouldn't have gone to any of those clubs because I don't want to stand around and be seen. I want to go and dance and sweat.
yeah, I was trying to go dance, but I figured those were like the back rooms of these clubs, where
I thought that was a front room.
But on the front rooms, you have like, you have all this stuff going on. The back room is where you have all this actual nonsense.
But for
and
me, it was
foolishness.
all like, okay, this is, see and be seen, and I don't ever go to clubs to see and be seen. I go to clubs to dance.
Well, no, and I get that. But in that particular at that particular point in time in the 90s, I think when I was first starting to go out to these clubs, I was trying to figure out what they were all about, and then when I realized that the music made me feel some type of way.
Sure. See, I missed all of that because I was in school in Tallahassee.
Oh my Jesus!
Yeah. So
Listen, shout out to Philadelphia and the Nile. Shout out to Philadelphia
Yeah,
and
I didn't get to see
the
any.
Limelight in New York. Shout out to the Sound Factory Bar. Shout out to the to the Garage. Shout out to the Octagon. Listen.
Woo!
Shout out to New Jersey and going over to see Harmonica Sunbeam and her damn club perform. Listen, Esquelitas. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Jesus. Okay.
So the runway looks. So Latrice turned that look out with they all had to dress in latex. Latrice turned it out. She looked like a set of anal beads on her head. Her whole body. She looked like a set of anal beads, sky blue anal beads or teal anal beads, and she did that.
Trinity turned it too. I like Trinity's look. That bubblegum splattered look, I loved. It was great on her.
Yes,
I
thought it was a great concept. I liked all of their looks. I really didn't care. I thought Naomi's look looked good if that was just like an outfit that she was.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I didn't feel like, oh, this says, what was it, Latex Fantasy or whatever the fuck it was.
Manila's look, at first I was like, I don't like this. Then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, I like the creativity of it.
What was her look?
It was the clear cellophane wrapped up into a dress. So that was amazing because once you're working with that fabric and you try to keep it together.
Yes.
What's her face? Monique and Monet's looks. I can't remember what they were, but they didn't really impress me too much.
Monique's look was just like a bikini, like a clear latex bikini.
That's right. With to Josephine Baker, the nod to Josephine Baker.
That was Monet's.
That was Monique's.
I'm getting them confused.
Monique.
So I like Monique's because I thought that was high concept, the clear Josephine Baker look, and I liked it a lot more than the judges did, apparently.
I've kind of felt like Michelle Visage did, or whoever it was that said the idea was one thing, and the idea was great, but the execution of it was a little different.
I didn't think the execution was bad. I mean, Josephine Baker wore an ensemble made out of bananas, and you took that.
I got it.
And expanded beyond it. I personally thought it was good.
Listen, I didn't say it was bad, but I just said, but the execution of the idea wasn't as great as it could have been. That's my opinion.
But what else could you have done though? I mean,
well, number one, it was very thin for her, and if you're going to do plastic and latex and things of that sort, you need to give it volume. Okay. So, like with Latrice, her look was very simple, but you gave it volume. Part of that was her body. Sure. Part of that was just 3-dimensional, and hers was just flat all the way around.
Okay.
So
then it comes down to in the bottom two are Naomi and Valentina. Instantly, I was like, Valentina gotta go. But I feel like I was also biased by Rent.
Listen, I never really got into Rent, and I never really got into the whole idea of 5,025,600 minutes or whatever the hell that is.
I do not like talk singing. I don't like talk singing where they sing all the words. I don't like that. I don't like that. And so I've seen Rent exactly twice. The first time I saw it was in the movies, and the second time I saw it this time. Both times I was like, in the first 2 minutes when they're talking like the whole time, I was like, I'm out. I can't do this. I can't. And then it's like about halfway through, I was into the movie. And then when they did Will I Lose My Dignity, that always, gets me, that always sends me into tears. But I was like, you know what? I was like, this is a great opportunity for Valentina, and she fucked it up. She sounded terrible.
Well, she never could sing.
Sound issues throughout the whole
But she's never been a singer, so how she even got cast was amazing to me.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess they could have got anybody. I mean, they didn't have to get a drag queen. But
did they auto-tune her at the end?
Apparently they did. I didn't watch to the end because at some point I was just like, I'm over it. And so I didn't really feel the need because, I felt like I had seen enough and I was over it. But yeah, I was also over Valentina's fantasy and not living up to that fantasy. And I guess I just like Naomi more.
Okay.
What was your thought?
I liked Naomi more. Naomi made it fun. That was the only reason why I kept watching. Because
she also worked much harder. I mean,
and she did. She did everything
in that challenge, and I'm glad that they recognized that because it would have been kind of fucked up for Valentina to sit around and say, but I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, and for Naomi to have done all of that work. And because the set did look good for what it was. I mean, it was silver walls and whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, so Valentina's out, and so now it's Naomi, Monique, Monet, Latrice, Manila, and Trinity. Yes. So top four.
So I think that this she's going to do like she did before, have either a top three or top four. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to wind up being a top four. So I think that that's what she's going to end with. I have said from the beginning, Monet. I'm sorry. Actually, Monet, Monique, Trinity, and maybe Latrice. But
you don't think Naomi? I feel like Naomi and Latrice are definites for the top four.
But also I feel like Manila is a wild card at this point
because she's about Manila.
She's a seasoned professional, and she pops up when she pops up and puts it forward when she needs to. So that's why I'm like, she's a wild card for me. Mm-hmm. Naomi does the same thing. She's a silent worker. She's a hard worker. Mm-hmm. But I feel like
I was just so impressed by her, not this week, but last week when they brought all of the girls back. And I just felt like she really stepped it up a notch. So I was really impressed by her.
Well, I mean,
I never watched that season.
Season, she was second runner-up, I think it was.
Oh, really?
I think she was she second runner-up or a third runner? She was second or third runner-up because that wasn't BB was the first, and I think she was the second or the third. BB was the first season. BB Zahara Benet. She was in the first season.
In that season with...
No, she was in the first season. I'm thinking of the... Yes. I think Manila was either in the second or the third season.
Yeah, but I thought we were talking about Naomi.
I was talking about Manila. That's what
I was talking about Naomi, but yes.
But Naomi was also a season after that.
Right, okay, all right.
But, so I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good to watch either way. Rita Ora and the other judge, I was like, okay. All right, bro.
It's your show, honey. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right, so... Jussie Smollett,
which is going to go into
the thing,
right?
Yes.
Listen, so you all have heard, well, you may not have heard, Jussie Smollett was apparently attacked outside of his apartment in Chicago, I believe it was. And he was saying that he went down to the subway station to get, not subway station, subway sandwich shop to get a sandwich at 2 a.m. in the morning. And he said, this is what happened. He said, then 2 unknown offenders approached him and gained his attention by yelling out racial and homophobic slurs toward him. The offenders began to batter the victim with their hands about the face and poured an unknown chemical substance on the victim. The police, although they couldn't confirm the gender, the identity or the genders of the offenders, but they did say at some point during the incident, the offenders wrapped a rope or a noose around the victim's neck.
Yes.
What alarms me is...
They were also wearing MAGA hats.
So, yes, that wasn't in this particular article from the Washington Post.
Like the Grapevine and a bunch of other sources.
So and then apparently they said something towards the end of, we're part of this is welcome to MAGA country or something. That's what that was something else that they allegedly said. The problem that I have with this is, A, it shows where our president and this administration stand on violence, especially as it relates to specific groups, because between Donald Trump and Mike Pence, our president and our vice president, they are not taking a stand against any of this. And in fact, Mike Pence has been in the background screaming silently because he's not an LGBT advocate at all. In fact, he has been fighting against LGBT rights from the beginning.
Yes.
When he sits down to dinner with Mother, his wife, I guess that's a topic of conversation that they have all the time.
What can we do to make life worse for the gays?
But whatever. And then there's this big controversy with that. Let me back up. First of all, I want to say, whether you are gay, straight, cisgender, binary, non-binary, whatever you are, listen, we have to be careful out in these streets.
Yes.
Please, each one, take care of each other. Look out for your sisters and your brothers.
Yes.
All of our Onyx family are sisters in pearls. Listen, we look out for one another because we are all that we have, and we will make sure that we will do our best to make sure that everybody's okay. So please take care of your sisters and brothers because, again, it is not safe out in these streets.
Yes.
We need to be diligent about taking care of ourselves and be vigilant if something does happen or to prevent something from happening. So please take care of yourselves. That's really all I can say. But this has caused a lot of controversy. This attack on Facebook, which has promoted a lot of conversation, and then there are some people that actually don't believe that the premise of him going downstairs at 2 a.m. was to get a sandwich. Some people were saying stuff like, oh, he was out there trying to troll and pick up somebody or whatever. Listen, this prompted a conversation or prompted some things that happened later on this week or earlier this week, which we're going to get into. But it doesn't matter what reason he was there for, regardless. And I'm not saying I believe or don't believe what he was there for, but my point is, do not put your hands on anybody. This violence... Don't do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not.
Let's just not. But again, that prompted the conversation. A lot of people started showing their colors on Facebook and
they
other
started
social
showing
media.
their asses.
Started showing their asses about stuff, and that leads into a conversation that came about that resulted in what was it? Big burly.
What? Sorry. Beastly
burly
black bitch.
That someone happened to call one of our Onyx brothers. This man sitting right here next to me on Facebook.
Let's get
so for me, the comedy started from the moment I saw that, and there was no response from him. I knew that this was going to be
first of all, there was no response because, all right, so what he did was he posted, and, he's like a lot of these kids suggesting that he was somehow culpable in his own assault, that, he shouldn't have been out at 2 o'clock at night, and if he hadn't been out, he wouldn't have gotten attacked, or that there was more to the story. And then, this is a part of the problem with logic with our schools, that they're not teaching logic, and people's like, but I'm not saying he did anything, but you just basically said that there's more to the story, which by definition means that you don't believe everything that he's saying and that he's lying about this situation. And, you know, then of course his dumbass friends are like, yeah, you know, who's out trolling for dates at, you know, 2:00 in the morning and all this other stuff. And so I said, you know, it is ridiculous that we are even having this conversation, regardless of, even if he was out getting ready to go get banged out by like 15 dudes or whatever, that's no reason. That was the same reason, like, because a woman wears a short skirt that she deserves to be raped. No one deserves to get hit and have a rope put around their neck or whatever, regardless of what it is they do or say. And so I said, you're an awful person, and thank you for showing your true colors. And I said, oh, by the way, don't bother to respond because I won't see it. And I immediately unfriended him. So I didn't see anything that he had said until he, let me see, which, oh no, that's the wrong one. All right, because there's like, that's the wrong one too. This photo? Yes, okay. So then one of our Onyx brothers, you know, because we have a group me and we chit-chatted, and Roman says, Dominion, I guess you didn't see what he said. And I was like, who? And so I looked, and then he says, Dominion Onyx, you beastly, burly, black bitch. I hope the next time you have a fist up your shitty fat ass, your rectum explodes, you deviant, dirty, pussy ass nigga. I never said he deserved that. Actually, you want to be quote unquote sub bitch. I actually posted, now it was totally wrong for him to be attacked, but I am not buying that bullshit ass story. Let's stop right there. You're not buying his story. You're blaming the victim. If I tell you something terrible happened to me and you say, I don't believe you, you're blaming the victim. There's no other way to say that. If a woman says that she was raped or your story doesn't add up, what was you doing? If your good girlfriend comes to you and says, you know, crying or whatever, I was raped, and you say, well, girl, what was you doing out in the street that time of night? Why was you wearing that dress, though? I mean, you know how you be looking at dudes.
Completely.
You're blaming the victim.
And people don't understand that they do this so
easily. It just
falls out of your mouth all the time. And I mean, and honestly, let me be clear. I have to catch myself sometimes because the first thing that may come out of my mouth or that I may think is, well, what? And then I have to think like, wait a minute, let me think again on this. That's not important. Where we are right now is this is what happened. Let's see what we can do to help this person.
Right. And then so he wasn't finished. I'm not buying that bullshit ass story. Do better, Jussie, and next time take an Uber. So read the entire goddamn thread next time and get the fuck off my page too, since you wishing woe upon me, you weak, fat, ugly, gotta pay to get fucked, little ass dick, looking pathetic, attempting to wear a cock ring and a thong ass motherfucker. Gonna start the goddamn Armageddon, old fuck ass nigga. That was a lot of words. So, honey, I am not even bothered. I published my travel schedule, so you know where I'm going to be every month from now until October. If you want to show, listen, I'm going to do it like Beatrice said. If you got something on your spirit that you really want to get off, you know where to find me.
So let's be clear. You also have every single chapter in this motherfucking organization that will be standing right next to you.
And listen, he will make the mistake that Andrew Mummert made, that Todd Jones made, and so many other people made throughout my childhood. They assumed that because I don't like to fight, that I can't fight.
Can we say it again loudly for the people just back in the cheap seats, like just a little bit loud? Everyone, hello.
Hello. Just because I don't like to fight doesn't mean I can't fight. That is not a threat. That is just letting you know that if you attempt to bring it, just know that I can bring it too, and I can carry.
That was a public service announcement for FoxWave.com.
So, I don't get into, people are like, ooh, he's going to give it to us. Like, no, I'm not getting into back and forth with the girls. I said what I needed to say and I moved on. Facebook friendship is not real friendship, so I don't feel particularly offended by any of this. Listen, I'm about to get t-shirts made that say what was it? One more time. Beastly, burly, black bitch. I have literally changed my Twitter. It's still at Dom Onyx, but, you can change the name. It says Beastly, Burly, Black Bitch. I'm getting T-shirts made. So I'm going to make some money off of that. And, listen, I'm unbothered. Ecstatically unbothered. So there we go. All right, so we're about running out of time. So you want to wrap us up?
Yes. So listen, thank you guys for tuning in every single week. But just to let you know, the BGKH show streams live on Wednesdays on VoxWave.com, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern and 6:15 to 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH show with Dominion and Epic. We actually do have space for a live studio audience, so if you're interested in coming in, we definitely will love to entertain you and host you here. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can do so for me, you can reach me at Epic Onyx 1 on Twitter. You can also reach me at I am Epic Onyx on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook under Epic Onyx if you do a search for that. And Dominion, how can they reach you?
You can reach
You can reach me by airplane.
By airways. Anyway, you can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at beastlyburlyblackbitch.com. No. You can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at Dom Onyx, on Facebook, facebook.com/Dom Onyx, and my website, www.domonyx.com, where I will be slowly starting to get back into writing stuff. I had like 5 people message me over the break. It was like, when am I going to see more Alex and Alonzo? So I was like, great. So if I get 5 people to spend, if each one of you spend $25,000, then I'll be rich. No. But anyway, tune in next week when you will hear the story of my jury duty and all of the other exciting things that are going to happen.
And I also forgot something this week, so I'll share that with you afterwards. But yeah, I had a very interesting week on a couple different fronts. But
Shantae got a man at home?
I forgot there's something else in there too. But there's something else we'll talk about that next week. So tune in next week.
Come on, Candlelight and you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night, everyone.